Hi, okay, so I'm refilming this because I just, when you forget multiple things in a video. But anyways, so first things first, so sorry about my last video. I had a really good time with my friends and I drank a lot of wine and maybe some whiskey also. So yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry again if it was annoying or anything, just don't watch it. Um, I wanted to talk about my top rated books of the year. These are all books that I read before I started doing videos on YouTube, so I never really got a chance to talk to you about them. I only have 3 books that I rated 5 stars. One of them was Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss, which is really good. It's nonfiction talking about how the food industry uses salt, sugar, and fat to kind of control us, not control us, suck us into certain buying patterns, and it's really good. It's not necessarily about how those particular things are bad for us. It's more how the companies use them against us. So I thought it was really good. But in retrospect, I don't think it was really a 5 star book. I would have to reread it though to really remember because I forget. I'm gonna have to reread it. So then the other 2 books that I read were both novels, and oh my gosh, they were both so good and kind of just like what. So the first one was Chronicle of a Death Foretold by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. It's the first book of his that I have read, and I absolutely adored it. I would love to go back and reread it in Spanish in the future and read his other books. And just I loved this book. It was so good. The story takes place so basically like a murder of this guy who I guess you would call the main character. I guess he dies at the beginning of the book, and then the whole story is 30 years after the death happens. His friend moves back to the town and kind of is interviewing all of the town people to find out what happened and why no one intervened and stuff, because kind of everyone knew a little bit that it was going to happen. I forget why I think it's a jealousy thing that he gets killed. I don't really remember. But it was beautifully written regardless. The ending seriously slayed me. The ending, honestly, I kind of want to start crying thinking about it. Woo! It was really good. I really recommend it, especially if you like him. I don't see why you wouldn't read it. And then the other book that oh my gosh, sorry, I have to it's pathetic. Oh, it was so good. The other book that I gave 5 stars was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. I had never read or seen the movie before. I knew the general idea though because I've seen the classic Jack Nicholson. I feel with the red beanie or something and the nurse. And yeah, I feel there's that one scene that they're in this group circle that has existed on the internet. So I kind of knew what was happening, but just in case you don't, for any reason, it's a story of this mental institute or a mental ward, and there's this nurse that kind of runs the whole place. Her name is, I think, Nurse Ratchet. I feel that sounds wrong though. Nurse Rat. I could have Googled it before I started this video again for the second time. It doesn't matter. And then this guy gets put into the institute whose name is McMurphy, I'm pretty sure, which is the Jack Nicholson character in the movie. And he basically stirs up some trouble. Stirs up some trouble. The story is also told part of the time from the perspective of Chief, I think Bromden or Broomden or something like that, who is, I believe, schizophrenic, and he doesn't speak. And it's so, his parts of the book were honestly my favorite because he's speaking, and you kind of, I don't know, I always have this fear a little bit that people in mental institutes aren't necessarily crazy. That for some reason, especially back then, you could have had anyone committed for anything. So you kind of think maybe this person is fine and he's talking and everything is great, and then all of a sudden his train of thought and just the hallucinations that he starts having, it's so good. It's just seamlessly integrated in his narrative. It was really, really good. I enjoyed his perspective a lot. So it's, I guess, kind of an anti-establishment book. The character McMurphy is, trying to rebel against the nurses' very strict rules, and he sees how, like, not inmates, the patients, how the patients are being treated, and he's, trying to get them to have more, not rights, but like more privileges and just more things. He's just, anti-establishment. So it's cool, I guess. There are some issues of, racism, and like the way women are portrayed is not the best. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people think it's pretty horrible. I don't think it's that horrible because like a one female character is running the entire place. So obviously she has a lot of power. So, that's a thing. But the other women are definitely much weaker characters. They're either there just because they're there for sexual pleasure, or because they're little. I know it's but from different perspectives, you know what I mean? Like they're just to be like sexualized, or because they are like sluts, basically. So those I feel like are the only other two things that the women characters do, other than Nurse Ratched, who is, very much in control and trying to like keep her power of this unit, while McMurphy is trying to like overcome it. And yeah, the ending, if you have read or seen, you know, it's so good. It's so good. Man, I'm very interested in reading something else by both of these authors, because I feel like I've mentioned this before. You don't really, I don't know, I feel like you can't really tell a lot from one book by someone. You really need to read like more in order to really get a feel for the author. So I'm curious to read more of them. Oh, and a side note, I talked about this in the time that I recorded this, like 5 minutes ago, but I just wanted to do a general comment. I am in nursing school, and I have seen like ECT therapy done, and it's really not nice. That's not the right word, but it's a really beneficial thing for people. People who have like depression and manic depression, which is bipolar disorder. It can really, like, in some cases, it's the only thing that will help them. So it is really beneficial, and it's like totally controlled, and it's, very helpful for people. So I haven't seen it in the movie, so I don't know what it looks like in the movie. I should watch that and see how they portray it in the movie. But I feel like I've seen people talk, not smack about it, but it's a pretty awesome procedure that can really, really help a lot of people. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that it exists and it is being done nowadays still, and it's pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Sorry again about my last video. I hope everyone is having a great holiday season. It's the 23rd. Christmas is in a couple of days. And yeah, it's almost the end of the year, guys. Woo! 2015. Almost here. Okay. Bye.